Hello and welcome to the news. I am Asmi Uba. Coming up in this edition of the news, Parliament Committee on Transparency and Accountability demands the government's payroll from the Ministry of Finance. Police arrest 3 people for alleged child abuse and 2 Sierra Leonean babies with critical health condition flown to India. All these stories and more lined up in this edition of Newshour. The Parliamentary Committee on Transparency and Accountability has asked the Ministry of Finance to present to the committee the government's payroll not later than the 12th of November 2018. The disclosure was made at a special news conference held at the committee room number 1 in Parliament Tower Hill. Ibrahim Samura was in attendance.
According to Honorable Daniel Kroma, Chairman of the Legislative Committee, the request is in conformity with President Bio's Executive Order 1, which talks about fiscal discipline and cutting of government expenditures.
We raised 3 concerns. Those 3 concerns, the third one is the most important concern for your attention and assistance. That in support of the Executive Order number 1, bracket, control of excess spending and harmonization of government payroll. The MPs need to be furnished with full list of government payroll to be used as guide throughout the budget approval process.
He said on the 5th of November, the Parliamentary Committee on Transparency and Accountability requested the Finance Minister to present to them the government payroll. The reason, he said, was that there is great salary disparity, saying that there is the need to harmonize all wages of workers in the country.
This parliament is determined, unlike other parliaments, this parliament is determined to harmonize government payroll. The PPRC is taking home, basic salary, taking home 55,502,127 leons. Compare it to another commission, the Office of the Ombudsman. The basic salary of the Ombudsman, according to this record, is 27 million.
Honorable Ibrahim Tawakonte and other committee members called on the media and civil society organizations to support them in this drive. They said the move is to help bring sanity in the government's payroll. Also, Parliament has unanimously ratified the agreements to establish the African Continental Free Trade. The agreement was led by the Minister of Trade and Industry, Peter Bayugu Conte. He said the agreement will help promote and enhance one African market trade. The leader of various political parties endorsed the agreement, describing it as advantageous for the development of the country. They said the agreement, when implemented, will enhance the middle-level manpower, address women's issues, and boost the country's socio-economic development. The parliamentary sitting was adjourned to this Friday. Ibrahim Samura, Freetown.
Thanks to Ibrahim Samura for that report. 2 babies, Marian and Mariama, who are in critical health conditions, have been flown to India to undergo surgery. According to the chief campaigner Ishmael Alfred Charles, they have raised about 70% of their surgery fees. Caritas Freetown, together with some volunteers and parliamentarians, have been begging on the streets of Freetown to raise the monies for the baby's surgery. During Barry reports.
These 2 babies, Marian and Mariama, are in critical health conditions. If they are not quickly supported, will cause them to lose their lives. It is because of this that the chief campaigner, Ishmael Alfred Charles, Caritas Freetown, volunteers and some members of parliament have been moving around to raise their operation fees. However, $17,000 has been raised for baby Marian out of the $27,000 needed for our operation, whilst $6,000 is being collected for baby Mariama, whose surgery cost is $10,000. The campaign for baby Marian and Mariama will still continue to raise the remaining monies for their surgeries. The chief campaigner for baby Marian and Mariama, Ishmael Alfred Charles, said that the press conference is to update journalists about the money collected from the public in support of their surgeries. He said that even though they are yet to complete the money for the operation, they have appealed to the doctors in India to start their treatment as their condition is critical. He appealed for more financial support to save the lives of baby Marian and Mariama. Executive Director of Caritas Freetown, Reverend Father Peter Conte, said that for the past weeks they have demonstrated compassion, stewardship, humility and love by raising funds for baby Marian and Mariama to undergo their surgery in India. He said that the press conference is a show of accountability and integrity in order to update the people how the money has been raised. He said that gone are the days when people should solely depend on overseas support, adding that it is a pride for Sierra Leoneans to support their cause. The parents of baby Marian and Mariama commended the chief campaigner, Caritas Freetown, volunteers and all those that have supported them immensely in saving the lives of their children. They appealed for more assistance from the public to complete the payment of their children's surgery.
3 persons, Sir Alex Monde, Sir Safia and Sir Ansumana, are presently under police custody helping the police in its investigation for child abuse, where the 3 suspected persons on Monday 5th November 2018 at Tengbe Town abused a 13-year-old boy, Michael Sise, by throwing hot water on him for failing to buy them tramadol. Mariama Suma has more.
A Class 4 pupil, according to a social worker coordinator, Patrick Bob Kande, has been allegedly raped by one Amadou Kouma, a French teacher at the Great Expectation.
Child abuse is when a parent or caregiver, whether through action or failing to act, causes injury, death, emotional harm, or risk of serious harm to a child. There are many forms of child maltreatment, including neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, exploitation, and emotional abuse. The case here of the 13-year-old Michael Sise is very serious, as he was allegedly abused by 3 persons, Sir Alex Monde, Sir Safia, and Sir Ansumana, for failing to buy them a tramadol. Michael informed SLBC that he was sent by Sir Alex Monde to buy them tramadol, which he didn't get, and later reported to him that he did not succeed, which prompted them to abuse him that way. He also explained that the 3 persons, Sir Alex Monde, Sir Safia and Sir Ansumana, gave him a merciless beating, threw hot water on his body, and tied him up, then put him on a record, whilst forcing him to say that he is a thief.
He beats me, boil water.
He beats me up. He used water heater on me and threw hot water on my body. He also hit me with a stick on my neck, and I can't even move my head properly. After, he put his phone on record and forced me to say that I'm a thief.
Michael Sise informed SLBC that his mother is dead and that he is presently staying with his grandfather after his own father drove him out of his house. He asked the government and the police to see that justice prevail. The auntie of the boy, Aisatu Kagbo, described the condition of Michael Sise as very critical, as he spent almost his nights crying with pains. She urged the police to ensure that the culprits pay for their criminal act. Meanwhile, SLBC visited the family support unit at the Congo Cross police station to find out from the police, but the matter is still under investigation, whilst the 3 persons continue to help the police with their investigations. SLBC News, Mariama Suma reporting.
A 10-year-old Class 4 pupil of the Great Expectation Academy School, Pentagon Lonely, has been allegedly raped by her French teacher, according to social worker coordinator Patrick Bob Kande. The perpetrator is helping the police with the investigation. Rose Konima Stevens has the story.
A Class 4 pupil, according to a social worker coordinator, Patrick Bob Kande, has been allegedly raped by one Amadou Kouma, a French teacher at the Great Expectation Academy School, Pentagon, Lumley. According to the victim, the teacher took her to an unfinished building very close to the school where he carried out the sexual acts. Mr. Kande said the investigations into the matter is ongoing. The victim, through the support of the Family Support Unit, has been taken to the Victory Teens Organization orphanage where she is provided with shelter, education, and medical care. The founder and executive director, Victory Teens Organization, Prophet Samuel Kamara, explained that his orphanage promotes the welfare of vulnerable children, defending them against social injustice, and support them in achieving their dreams. He called on humanitarian organizations, both national and international, the government and other well-meaning Sierra Leoneans to assist them with whatever support they could render, as children are the future leaders. Prophet Samuel reiterated that these orphans were drawn from Pujeon, Bo, Cambia, and other deprived communities, noting that their aim is to eradicate teenage pregnancy, rape, early marriage, and prostitution, among others. Meanwhile, police is still investigating the issue. SLBC News, Rose Konima Stevens.
Thanks to Rose Konima Stevens for that report. A high-powered delegation comprising medical doctors and other health professionals is in Bo to give medical aid to poor and vulnerable people in Sierra Leone. The team will also conduct training for various health practitioners. In this interview, the coordinator of education and training, Med Global, Ted Bennett, explained more about the training.
The primary program we're doing is a 3-day program. It's internationally recognized to train those who may see patients that are in an emergency situation. And because of the way the healthcare system is stretched after the Ebola crisis, people end up seeing patients that are above what they would normally see and above their level, and they try as hard as they can, but if they're not given the skills to take care of those patients, they're going to have problems. So we're going to try and develop those skills.
So are they those who come in first contact with the patients, or the clinicians, or the surgeons, or the doctors?
It's a combination. We'll be seeing some community health officers and midwives, and some physicians. Newer physicians who are just out still have limited experience with emergencies, and the more you have them train in those emergencies, we do simulations, we have models, the more comfortable they are when that situation comes up.
Is it medical emergencies or what? Or other social emergencies as well?
It's mainly medical emergencies, severe infections, breathing problems, burns, snake bites, poisonings, all kinds of things that show up at first in whatever town you're in, and the medical care that's a little more advanced, maybe quite a ways away. And if the early care isn't appropriate, then things will go badly. If the early care is done well, then things can turn out much better.
So what is standard operating procedure for a medical practitioner who comes across an emergency case, a case that he has never come across before?
We try and lay out very straightforward ways to approach the patient. Is there airway opening? Are they breathing okay? Is there circulation okay? Are they thinking all right? And to do it in a very stepwise way, so that in a situation where even experienced medical people can get a little hassled and lose track of what they're doing, to do it in a very measured way and take care of the most important things first. We're also then doing a one extra day to train the trainers. So we have 30 people coming for the course. 5 of those people are going to spend an extra day learning how to teach the course, so that when we leave, they could go ahead and teach the course to more people.
And finally, what about helping build the capacity of the Ministry of Health, the ministry that supervises health activities in the country?
Quite honestly, we're meeting some people. I don't know how much we're going to be able to do that. And to the extent that we can teach this course and have it continue on and eventually come back and do it again, that would help. I know that the medical schools are trying to get out people as quickly as they can to make up the shortfall that's happened. Partly this course is helpful for those people, so that since they need to be gotten out quickly without as much clinical experience at times as would be ideal, well, this gives them a little extra help for things that they might not be quite ready to deal with.
He is Ted Bennett, the coordinator of education and training, Med Global. The Sierra Leone Association of Ebola Survivors has called on government to provide them with free healthcare and better living conditions. Well, the survivors made this call during a commemoration event organized by the Freetown City Council for Ebola victims. The event took place at the Graveside Kingdom Cemetery. Mayeni Mansari went along.
They are the point of contact for the 1,000+ who died in Freetown. To God be the glory.
The commemoration saw the unveiling of a plaque at the graveside and a symbolic planting of trees at the Ebola gravesite at the Kingdom Cemetery. The West African Ebola virus epidemic, which hit the region from 2013 to 2016, was the most widespread Ebola outbreak in history. This caused a major loss of life and socio-economic disruption in the region, mainly in the countries of Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. In Sierra Leone, the first person reported infected was a tribal healer who had been treating Ebola patients from across the nearby border with Guinea and died on the 26th of May 2014. Over 14,000 cases were reported and over 4,000 deaths recorded. Sierra Leone was declared free of Ebola by the World Health Organization on the 7th November 2015, prompting nationwide celebrations tinged with sadness over the 4,000 lives the virus had claimed. The commemoration day is in remembrance of all those who lost their lives during the Ebola scourge and to look at the living condition of Ebola survivors nationwide. The Deputy Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Honorable Philip Tetema Tondone, said the Ebola scourge showed the weak medical sector in the country. The president of the Sierra Leone Association of Ebola Survivors, Yusuf Kaba, said they look forward to improve the outcome and better living condition of all survivors. He called on governments to provide self-reliant skills for them, as most of them are suffering. He called on the government to recruit Ebola survivors in the health sector. The mayor of Freetown City Council, Yvonne Akisoya, said the event is to remember fallen heroes and heroines who lost their lives to Ebola. She called on Sierra Leoneans to take waste management and hand washing to prevent further outbreaks.
The outbreak is ended, but year after year, it's important for us to pause and remember. Remember that we won because we stood together. Remember that even though we had the support of the international community, it was our community that actually made the difference.
A representative from the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs, Mohamed Kella, said the day should be one of reflection for all Sierra Leoneans. He added the ministry will continue to advocate on behalf of all Ebola survivors for a better living condition.
Youths of bus station organization have called on government to provide them with shelter on the compound they claimed it's theirs. Well, they made the call when SLBC visited them at Wallace Johnson Street in Freetown. Daphne Kema Macaulay and Zulayatu Hamid filed in this report. Well, we shall bring you that news in a subsequent edition. Let's continue with the news. The Deputy Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Emily Gogra, has told the people of Pujahun that it is by no mistake that the President chose education as one of his flagship programs. She was addressing Paramount Chiefs, principals and head teachers in Pujahun districts during a meeting held at the Pujahun District Council Hall, where she also listened to education stakeholders of the districts about the challenges of the schools in that part of the country. So Iba Samuel reports.
Since the launch of the free quality education in August this year, the Ministry of Basic and Senior School Education has been meeting with stakeholders in various districts to discuss challenges in the education system. At the Pujahun District Council Hall, the Deputy Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education, Emery Gokra, was in the company of education stakeholders of Pujahun District. Among them were principals and head teachers of various schools in that community who took the opportunity to inform the minister and professional heads of the Ministry of Basic and Senior Education about the difficulties they are faced with while implementing the free education scheme in the district. The minister responded especially to the main challenges of teachers without PIN code and teenage pregnancy. She informed stakeholders that government will recruit up to 5,000 teachers to replace those retired at the wake of the free quality education scheme. Madam Gogra also called on paramount chiefs of Pujahun district to treat with utmost seriousness reports of sexual violence on school-going girls reportedly impregnated by their teachers. Summing up efforts made by the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education in Pujahun district, the national coordinator of the free quality education, Amara Soa, said government has allocated more than 500 million loans to government and government-assisted schools in the Pujahun district to offset fees and admission. Informed the people of Pujahun that the exercise books the ministry supplied were a quick fix solution by government, adding that the real supply of exercise books will commence next academic year. A question and answer session in which heads of school and local authorities raised concerns with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education formed the climax of the consultative meeting. Soriba Samura, SLBC News, Freetown.
High Court Judge Justice Monfred Sise has sent to jail Ibrahim Sow, Dauda Conte and Sir James for 5 and 7 years respectively. The convicts were charged with 2 counts of conspiracy and shop-breaking contrary to law. Aminas Nyande Brahma reports.
Evidence presented in court revealed that Ibrahim Sow, Dauda Conte and Sir James, on diverse dates between the 22nd May and 24th July 2014 at 7 Adelaide Street, Freetown, conspired with other unknown persons, broke and entered into the shop of Mohammed Thomas and stole 111,440,000 leons and 1 mobile phone valued at £300 sterling. The convicts pleaded guilty and begged for mercy. The first and second convict, Ibrahim Sow and Dauda Conte, told the judge that it was the third convict, Sir James, that informed and called them to go and commit the crime. The State Prosecuting Counsel, Joseph Sise, said the penalty for shop-breaking is 14 years in prison and affirmed that the third convict, Dauda Conte, has another matter at the Magistrate Court that has already been committed to the High Court, as he was allegedly found in possession of a gun. Justice Monfred Sise condemned the criminal acts of the convicts and sentenced them on count 1 of conspiracy to 1 year each in prison, and on count 2, he jailed Ibrahim Sow and Dauda Conte to 4 years each, and Sir James to 6. With time spent in remand be considered, lawyer Joseph Andrew Sise prosecuted the matter on behalf of the state, while O.C. Spencer Coker represented the 3 accused. SLBC News, Aminash Nyande Brahma reporting.
Thanks to our court correspondent, Aminash Nyande Brahma. Well, let's now join Esther Marie Samu as she will tell us exactly what is happening in the field of sports. Welcome, Esther.
Thank you very much. And it's sport updates with me, Esther Marie Samoa. In this edition, swimmers of the Saloon Swimming, Diving and Water Polo Association are effectively training at the Siaka Stevens Stadium swimming pool in Freetown. This is in preparation for the 2018 edition of the FINA World Swimming Championship and the FINA World Aquatic Convention, which will be staged in China. Here is the report. Sierra Leone Swimming, Diving and Water Polo Association is one of the few sporting associations that have been doing well in terms of international representation, and this is as a result of their continued active training. Swimmers from the association will be representing the country in various international swimming competitions. Mohamed Touré, Secretary General of the Sierra Leone Swimming Association, said that this training is to enhance the swimmers for the forthcoming 2018 FINA World Swimming Championship and training course, which will commence in December this year.
Training swimmers for Japan 2020, and they will be selected from this pool of swimmers that we have now, 60 of them. We're also preparing for the 6th FINA Swimming World Championships short course in Hangzhou, China. This will be from the 6th to 16th of December this year.
Unlike football, which has the highest financial support from the government through the ministry, Swimming Association has not been getting that support, and Mohamed Touré mentioned that the collaboration with the ministry has been healthy amidst financial challenges. He further said that they are challenged with reimbursement.
The Ministry of Sports has our calendar of events, which even includes this competition that we are going to in China this December. We always expect, if it turns out otherwise, then we have nothing to do, but we always expect, as in the past we've always been expecting, because you have to expect. Okay. Unfortunately, they have been telling us that we are constrained for funds and we have not been lucky to have support.
The training exercise continues at the swimming pool. Esther Marie Samoa, SLBC TV.
And the formal committee from FIFA are still ongoing with their fact-finding and investigation of 15 members involved in the match-fixing allegations. That's all for sports tonight. Asmil.
Thank you very much, the lady who knows about sport. Thank you very much, Esther. Well, let's now go to the entertainment. We all haven't done with whether Richard A. Alebi, or aka Father A, is a young musician who was born in Kono, Yengema, Nimikawa Chiefdom. Father A is planning to release his first ever album entitled Unity on Friday, including his latest song, Iron Motoka Battery, a song he believes can motivate the youths from being idle to hard-working citizens. Also, Sierra Leonean US-based model Jeneba Manja will be representing Sierra Leone in this year's Miss Africa America 2018 on Saturday the 10th of November in Las Vegas. For more on this, let's join our entertainment producer Mohamed Kimilambangura.
It's a boy for the A, Forensic Breakers. Come on, nevertheless.
Richard Lahai Lebi, aka Father A, is a young musician who was born in Kono, Yengaman Nimikogo Chiefdom. He started his schooling in Kono, and later during the war he went to Guinea-Conakry where he did his high schooling. Father A said his high school teacher gave him the nickname Father A because he used to wear a chain with a cross on it. He said music has been his childhood dream, and his mentors are Succulent, Dallas B, and the Ugandan singer Josie Chameleon. In 2007, Father A said he came to the music field professionally, and since then he has been releasing hit songs, especially in his hometown of Kono. Father A is planning to release his first ever album titled Unity on Friday the 9th of November 2018 at Liberty Hall. He said this album has a couple of hit songs that can motivate the minds of people, especially his latest song, Iron Motoka Battery, a song he believes can motivate the youth from being idle into being hardworking.
With me, I am Motoka Battery. I believe so one day I go more gently. Me name go play, now the whole country. Much better, selling scrap.
It's much more better you're selling your scraps rather than involving into armed robbery, which leads to short life. I've decided to motivate them to do more and also putting Sierra Leone on the musical map. Father appeals to all his fans to support him on Friday at the Liberty Hall, as his album launching will be a different story. Meanwhile, Sierra Leone and US-based model Jeneba Wanja will be representing Sierra Leone in this year's Miss Africa America 2018 on Saturday the 10th of November in Los Angeles, USA. She will be contesting for the Miss Cultural Ambassador. She has already won the most popular contestant votes and now needs the support of the general public to like her Facebook page and vote for her, as she has a greater chance to clinch the award for this year 2018.
I am seeking for support from each and every one of you to please go on my profile on the pageant page where you'll see the flyer that's going to be shown on to you all, so that you can all cast your votes by just liking my flyer on the pageant page. We're currently in second place, but I believe that we can do more. We've done the hardest part of the voting, which was the people's choice. This is just the Facebook voting. This is the easy part, and I would love for Sierra Leone to emerge as the winner for that. So please show me your support, share the link, share the flyer, and let's get on to this and win. And I'll try my very best to make sure that I take on to bringing this crown home by God's grace. Thank you all so much for your endless support. Thank you so very much. God bless Sierra Leone.
Thanks to Mohamed Kimilan Bangura for that news in the entertainment world. Now to end the news in main points again. But the Parliamentary Committee on Transparency and Accountability has demanded the government's parole from the Ministry of Finance. Police have arrested 3 people for alleged child abuse, and 2 Sierra Leonean babies with critical conditions have been flown to India. That's all in this edition of Newshour. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.